Hey, what's going on, folks? Hope all is well. Listen, you know me, I just like to get straight into things. It turns out the new DMZ content, which is going to arrive with season two, apparently it's going to be locked behind a paywall. And believe it or not, I actually agree with this. I know, right? It's like, what? Oh, Joe agrees with this. Yeah, I'm gonna explain why. Uh, the people that bought Modern Warfare 2, and I'm talking the physical copy of the game or even the digital copy, like, we all know he's got shafted, especially the people that paid for the deluxe edition or whatever it's called for like $100 or £100. You guys got shafted the most. Like, the game has given you nothing so far, nothing. So, to me, like, they're gonna have to put some things behind the paywalls to benefit certain people that actually invested in the game. It's not fair to just keep giving people the same experience for people who have actually put money down. Now, what I'm talking, where I'm talking from is from a business standpoint. Yeah, I personally I went to PlayStation 5. I got a physical copy on a discount. So Activision didn't really make any money out of me because I bought it second hand off somebody, which they don't like because they've now just lost out on two copies. They will only be able to earn on one copy. And the benefits were used by two individuals. The company don't like that because they want to make sure everybody gets a single copy. So I shafted them more than they shafted me, and I got it for cheap. So when it comes to the actual game itself, it only makes sense. And I was even somebody that said it a while back. Like, I even said, when it comes to Warzone, there should be a situation where the free to play modes, you only get a selection of guns to use. Yeah. However, if you've bought the multiplayer, you then have access to all the guns. I was the one that was saying that, so I can't backtrack now and be like, oh, I have a problem with this. No, this makes absolute sense. Why are you just going to allow people to completely play the game modes that are pretty much the game modes that everybody wants to play now? Because believe it or not, most people aren't playing multiplayer anymore. 6v6 is boring, it's dead. We've been playing it for the last 15 years, where Warzone is the it game now. I know some people you see in comment sections on Twitter and on under people's YouTube videos posts, they're pretty much saying that they don't like Warzone and they prefer 6v6 multiplayer. 6v6 multiplayer is the minority now. And if you've not noticed, the company is not really making money off 6v6 multiplayer anymore. You know, they make money off when you buy the yearly iteration of the game in November, but that's all they pretty much make. Less and less people are buying from the in-game stores when it comes to 6v6 multiplayer. Why? Because all you're doing in these modes is shooting then get shot, shooting and get shot. It's just the same process over and over and over and over and over again. Now, there'll be a select few that buy things from the in-game store when it comes to these modes, but where people are buying from the in-game stores most is Warzone. And the reason why people are buying from Warzone the most is because Warzone is based on what? You know, you get put on a large map. It's you versus 100 plus players, and if you're legit, I'm talking based on being a legit person. If you're a legit player, you've got to fight through the RNG, persevere through the unpredictability of the rounds, you know, being shot in the sides and the back. And if you make it through it, yeah, whether you're playing solo or in a group, like, that's the best. Like, it's one of the best feelings there is to know that you were in a lobby with a bunch of random people and then you survived and became the last man standing or last woman standing or group standing, and you persevered and won. So people, when they're enjoying an experience, when it's if it was an outright genuine experience, we know it's not, but if it was a genuine experience and it was just hardcore, no one cheating, everything fair, and you knew you got there because you your wit and courage got you to the end, that is more of a, that is, in my view, that's a way more gratifying feeling than 6v6 playing on what shipment, just shooting, getting shot, and the only reason why you're in there is to level up guns for Warzone. You see what I mean? So multiplayer is used for a lot of the time just to level up guns now. It's become a gun leveler. And I remember when they put that cheeky poster up, the actual company themselves saying buy Modern Warfare 2 now to level up your guns for Warzone. Like, that poster was just a straight kick in the teeth to the people who bought the early iteration of the game. But what I'm trying to say, folks, is you can't just keep having a game mode which is the popular game mode and it just be completely free whether you buy the game or not, if you understand what I mean. For example, they got rid of plunder. Everyone's like, when's plunder coming back? When's plunder? I need plunder. They're not bringing plunder back. The reason why they're not bringing plunder back is because plunder was making people not bother buying the game. Cold War and Vanguard barely got bought because people were just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to plunder and level up my guns. Why am I gonna buy Vanguard for? You know, when I can just level up my guns in plunder. That's what people were doing. And they had to get rid of plunder to stop that. They needed a reason for people to level up guns in some form of way, the same way another individual who bought the game and invested in the company to level up their guns faster. I don't like this company. I'm not a fan of Activision. However, I understand business very well. Yeah, and I understand the difference between making money versus applying morals. When you apply morals to most situations, you don't really make as much money. But if you throw morals out the window, you can make a lot of money. Yeah, throwing your morals out the window leads to a lot of corruption. Yeah, I'm not sat here turning around being upset as well as not understanding. I'm upset with the shady things that these companies do, but I understand why they do it. So I'm not mad at the business model. I'm just mad at the fact that I actually have to go through it. You know, it's like how they always say in politics, when you're poor, you're very liberal. But as soon as you start making money, you become very conservative. You know, yeah, it's a biased situation. Most people, if the same people that are complaining, if they worked for Activision and they were earning all this money, they'd probably allow cheating to thrive the way they do. Yeah, I understand both sides. But anyway, I'm just going to have a quick look to see what's being said. It says here, DMZ players bash shameful MW2 Season 2 paywall content. DMZ players criticize the developers for locking Season 2 content behind the purchase of Modern Warfare 2. On February 2nd, Infinity Ward released a blog detailing DMZ Season 2 content, progress wipe resets, contraband, key inventory and fraction missions, and mission progress. The new season also features 3 playable locations, Ashika Island, Building 21 and Al Mazrah. Players have raised concerns over AI enemies being too difficult. That's a huge concern. They need to do something about that. Yeah, why don't you give people, I know it sounds a bit far-fetched, but why don't you just give people roles in lobbies to where it's a special mode where those people, you play a person who's holding a campsite. So these campsites where the loadouts are, why don't you allow people to jump into lobbies where they sit there on these sites with not so, like, they can't choose their guns. They're given a specific gun with a certain amount of difficulty and put a radius where they can't leave from the campsite. So when actual players come to these campsites, they've got to actually take on real life players. Because believe it or not, there'll be people out there that would literally love a mode where they can sit on these sites, yeah, give them just a base gun with just an array of people, just basically checking all the doorways and stuff while people come and people have to fight for their loadouts. Yo, people would enjoy that. Trust me, even I would somewhat try that mode. Yeah, literally at a site, somebody try and having people infiltrate it and they've got to take us out. However, make the people that are coming to the site stronger, they can choose their guns and whatever, and we're with weaker guns, but there's loads of us. And rather than have this stupid AI, give people roles or a game mode that they could be in lobbies doing that. But anyway, let me read this again. Players have raised concerns over AI enemies being too difficult to take down in Warzone 2 and DMZ. Infinity Ward announced the upcoming major update also adjusts AI spawns and accuracy at range. Season 2 also introduced a new faction, but not every player will have access to the new missions. Warzone 2 season. Oh no, is that it? Is this just a new one? Oh no, it's carrying on. DMZ players feel deceived. Modern Warfare 2 Season 2 Paywall. Warzone 2's second season introduces a new faction to DMZ. Infinity Ward stated in a blog, this faction will only be available to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 owners. This makes sense. It makes business sense, people. You can't keep making people buy the yearly iteration of the game, but then give free players pretty much the exact same experience, or a way to bypass buying the yearly iteration of the game. It doesn't make business sense. Like, there was literally zero reason to buy Vanguard. When Vanguard came out, it was just like, what was the point? Just go to Plunder, level up your guns, and then go straight into Warzone. Yeah, there was only certain individuals like myself and a few others who knew that if you're not buying the game and not buying things, your guns are going to be weaker in the game. But people, obviously, that was a time when people like shills and trolls on Twitter were trying to fight against the reality of how this business runs. But anyway, Modern Warfare 2 costs $70, making it difficult for some players to complete the new challenges. So I'm getting tongue twisted. Call of Duty insider Charlie Intel responded to the news by claiming forcing players to buy the $70 game to unlock new missions in the free-to-play DMZ mode seems like a dumb move. Why would it seem like a dumb move? This guy's the usual shill. So the funny thing is, now this guy shills. He's a super shill. He's a shill on autopilot, right? Always licking the crack of Activision, and the time when Activision actually makes sense, he's now against it, or he's not for it. This is clown stuff. This is clown stuff. Like, to me, I'll even say they're better off charging for Warzone and giving people multiplayer free now. Yeah, because multiplayer is, I've said Call of Duty's dead, but 6v6 multiplayer is definitely dead. It's dead, it's boring, it's aimless, it's not developed, it's not improved, you know, and people bought it, but like the numbers show that, like, if you've seen that new museum thing, people are saying it's real, people are saying it's not, from that gaming museum site. The numbers are showing multiplayer is declining rapidly. It's only a select few that like it. But it says underneath, DMZ already features content locked behind a paywall. Excuse me, that's so rude to burp down the mic. As Call of Duty streamer Westy pointed out, free-to-play players already have a smaller contraband stash and a key stash of 10 slots instead of 20. Although this move isn't good, I'm not surprised. Warzone 2 guru JGod responded, BR and DMZ are free-to-play and marketed as such. Free-to-play games are supposed to generate revenue from a battle pass or microtransactions, but not this type of paywall after the fact. First of all, let me just debunk what JGod said. Free to play means free to play. It doesn't mean free to have a good time or free to have the perfect experience. Okay? Free to play means you literally can turn it on and play within it. You don't have to purchase anything to play. But free to play does not mean free to have a perfect experience. People need to understand wordings. Yeah, I can't be the only one that seems to be able to make sense. Surely these guys are not kids. I understand when I go back and forth with people on Twitter, I'm dealing with children a lot of the time. Yeah, I started to realize a lot of these guys are kids. That's why I've stopped talking to them, because I actually thought they were adults. But Charlie Intel and J God, these are adults. How dumb can they be? You know what? Screw it. I don't think they're that dumb. I just think that they're so used to pandering to people, and at this moment in time, they're usually shilling for the company. But this part of shilling doesn't work for them, because this particular paywall may affect them in certain ways, or potentially people they know. So they're now trying to balance the shilling a bit. They need to shill for the company and then shill for the friends. but this is silly. It's free to play, not free to have a good time or free to have a perfect time. I've always known free to play should only give you the basics versus the person who's paid for the content or the experience. The people that picked up the physical copy should be having a fluid, better experience than the people who haven't. Otherwise, it's pointless buying any of the yearly iterations of the game. You literally be buying the yearly iterations for the one-player campaign. And look at what happened there. They had to release the one-player campaign 2 weeks before on multiplayer came out, because they knew no one would play the one-player campaign. Most people wouldn't play it. They needed some way to figure it out to get you to play these experiences. Anyway, let's read the rest of it. Fellow streamer Stody summed up the community reaction perfectly by just responding with oof. We will provide an update if Infinity Ward responds to the overwhelming criticism. Yeah. that's pretty much it, folks. But yeah, I just wanted to say I agree with this move. I do agree with this move, simply because the people who bought the game, yeah, you can't just be biased with how you feel. You've got to be impartial and look at it from a realistic standpoint. The people that bought the game need some form of benefits, and right now they've had nothing. They've had like 2 additional maps for season 1. They're going to get 2 additional maps again for season 2. It's crap for the people who bought the game right now, and for the people who just bought multiplayer, it's rubbish for them. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, folks. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. See you on the next one.